fuck with the new Charleston White with the act like
You would fuck with a nigga. I feel you.
I would put you, bro. Pause on that boy.
I feel you, dog.
I'd have did Charleston White in a way where the whole world would have been like,
Yeah.
voila! Definition of would do anything for some attention. 50-some years old, still going to jail. This nigga smiling on his mugshot, y'all.
Charleston White getting released brought him straight back into a situation that had already been heating up before he was locked up. Because while Charleston was away, Lil Woody wasn't exactly staying quiet. Woody had already spoken publicly about Charleston, meaning there was unfinished business sitting there before Charleston even had the chance to respond.
50-some years old, still going to jail. This nigga smiling on his mugshot, y'all. If this man is not a clout-seeking junkie, look at him. Damn fool. Bitch-eyed fool. I know his mama disappointed in him. He go to jail and he smiling because he thinking about a Say Cheese interview. Say Cheese finna give me 10,000. I'm finna go spend 8,000 on the pile set. I'm finna go we gonna fly, that's another 10,000. But I'm gonna tell him 15. But I'm gonna tell him 25 cause I gotta compete with Lil Boosie. Yeah, I'm finna go in there and talk about all type of shit. Oh, that nigga got me locked up. Yeah, old ass nigga, you should be ashamed of yourself. Steady going to jail, and I ain't went to jail.
But to understand why these two were already throwing shots at each other, you have to go back a little further. This wasn't simply a case of Charleston getting released and randomly deciding to target Woody. Their issues had been developing publicly for months, with interviews, different personalities, and shifting relationships all becoming part of the story. One important name in that situation is Dooberry. He had been connected with Charleston, but things apparently became tense as Dooberry started doing content involving Lil Woody. That included an interview involving Big Bank and Woody, followed by Dooberry linking with Woody separately. And judging by Charleston's public reaction afterward, he clearly had an issue with the way those relationships were developing. But exactly why those interviews became such a problem is where this story gets complicated. Charleston and Woody have both given their own perspective on what went wrong, and once other people started getting caught in the middle, the tension only became harder to ignore. We'll get deeper into that history in a minute because it explains why Charleston's next move wasn't nearly as random as it might have looked. What we do know is that the tension became public. Charleston began speaking about Dooberry online, while Woody's name kept becoming more connected to the disagreement. Suddenly, something that could have stayed behind the scenes was playing out where everybody could watch it. Whatever happened behind the scenes, one thing was obvious. Charleston and Woody had gone from being on better terms to having a very public problem, and Dooberry's connection with Woody had become part of the tension. Then Charleston ended up behind bars, temporarily putting his side of the online back and forth on pause. Woody, however, still had an opportunity to speak, and by the time Charleston was released, his name had already been brought back into the conversation. So when Charleston finally returned, he wasn't walking back into a quiet situation. The tension with Woody was already sitting there waiting for him. And Charleston didn't waste much time showing everybody exactly where he stood. And Charleston White didn't exactly come home looking to keep things quiet. Almost immediately after his release, his attention turned right back toward Lil Woody, making it pretty clear that whatever happened while Charleston was away hadn't made this tension disappear. Charleston posted a picture with a message aimed directly at Woody. The exact wording is difficult to make out clearly, but people immediately took the post as another deeply personal shot at Woody, especially because Charleston appeared to be mocking his appearance. That was enough to send the comment section into chaos. Instead of everybody celebrating Charleston's return or laughing at the joke, plenty of people immediately started firing back at him. One commenter decided to match Charleston's energy with another personal insult. Others laughed along, but there were also viewers who thought the entire exchange was corny from the jump. And that's where the reaction became interesting, because the audience wasn't moving as one group. Some people clearly thought Charleston was being Charleston, saying whatever he wanted, however he wanted, without worrying about whether everybody approved. Others thought that excuse had limits, especially when the shots started becoming this personal. Then you had people who immediately gave Woody the benefit of the doubt, but that's still an assumption. Just because Charleston responded aggressively doesn't automatically tell us what happened privately or who supposedly crossed the line first. And that's one of the biggest problems with these internet feuds. Once people already have a favorite, they can start filling in missing pieces themselves.
So I guess Woody banned you from Atlanta. Nah, how would he go ban me from Atlanta on probation? The last nigga banned me from Atlanta is in jail right today. All I gotta make is one phone call and that ban from Atlanta with his record and his history or get it put in jail. You can't make, you banning me, YSL gang member, with your violent history on probation. So you banning me means you calling what? Don't make me go back to the Fulton County Prosecutor's Office and file a report, because that's all they need. As a matter of fact, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because I didn't know he said he banned me, so I think
I'm going off your YouTube.
Oh, you going off his YouTube?
I mean, I'm going off YouTube. It says Woody banned Charleston White.
The comments quickly turned into people arguing for both sides. Some were basically warning Charleston that all the trolling could eventually come back around on him. Others were happy to see him creating chaos again and seemed more interested in the entertainment value than deciding who was actually right. One reaction said, "I knew this day was coming as soon as I seen Woody. First day out, interview about to go crazy." Another said, "Y'all got him started again," like the internet had been waiting for Charleston to return just so the next round could begin. Then there were comments like, "Unk don't be giving 2 Fs. Charleston, you a menace." And Woody brought this on himself. On the opposite side, other people were basically saying Charleston's routine was getting old. Some saw Charleston as an entertainer who has built his reputation around saying outrageous things and refusing to follow normal boundaries. Some believed Woody had been poking at Charleston and should have expected a response. Others looked at Charleston's post and thought there was nothing clever about getting personal. But the most important reaction hadn't even fully surfaced yet. Because underneath all the jokes, insults, and people choosing teams, another issue was starting to take over the conversation. And this one wasn't about who had the better comeback. People began focusing on the family angle behind Charleston's remarks, particularly the history involving Woody's children.
See, this is what they mad about. Everybody was rooting for me to lose in the fight. I didn't lose.
Oh yeah, it's on Twitter. Somebody said,
Oh, it's on Twitter now. We got the evidence.
yeah.
We got the evidence.
But
Ain't no but nothing. We changed something. He mad because I won the fight. He go online, all charging you fight like a hoe. Fight somebody who kids you talk about. I talked about your kids. So I talk about your crooked leg daughter kicking when she walk. So what you mean, fight somebody? You fight like a hoe. You just fought somebody you can beat. That's what you've been doing. You ain't been fighting and shooting niggas you know. You ran from Shell K. That's why you went and told.
Suddenly, viewers weren't just asking whether Charleston had roasted Woody successfully. They were asking whether there are certain lines that shouldn't be crossed at all, no matter how ugly the disagreement between two adults becomes. And once Charleston started responding directly to people challenging him on that point, the situation became even more controversial. And this is where the whole situation stopped feeling like regular internet trolling and started getting much more serious. Once people connected Charleston White's remarks to Lil Woody's family, especially the previous controversy involving Woody's deceased son, a lot of commenters weren't interested in laughing anymore. That history matters here. Charleston had already faced criticism in the past over remarks involving Woody's son, something Woody himself later addressed publicly. So when Charleston came back online taking another deeply personal shot, some viewers immediately saw it as more than two grown men roasting each other.
So this is where it now. Looking at my fight, say something to me. I respond back and say Woody, don't forget you told gangster snitch killer. Oh, so now you mad. You said something, no? I said something back. I had left you alone because I seen you doing this. I left him alone. I only with niggas doing this so we can go up together. But niggas doing this, I don't reach back down there to help them come back up. You taught me that with the rapping Big Chief. Learned my lesson. I don't do that no more. So niggas jealous. So now you gonna come with threats. I take the threat seriously. I'm afraid. I will be flying to Atlanta first chance I get to file a police report with the Atlanta Police Department.
To them, Charleston was stepping back into territory that should have been completely separate from whatever problems he had with Woody. The pushback came quickly. One person told Charleston, that's some hurtful things to say about someone's deceased child, Unc. Man, take that back. Another basically told him the feud wasn't serious enough to justify dragging someone's family into it. One commenter said, this ain't funny. This ain't even funny, dog. You wrong for that, Charleston White? Another went further. arguing that no matter how serious a personal beef became, they wouldn't disrespect somebody's children. There were also comments warning Charleston that constantly talking sideways about people could eventually create bigger problems. But that's another area where things can easily get twisted online. Criticizing Charleston's words is one thing. Turning the situation into threats or predictions about something happening to him is completely different, and that doesn't settle anything. But Charleston's own reaction to the criticism is what really kept the conversation moving. According to the exchange underneath the post, someone confronted Charleston over what he had said, and Charleston responded with one short answer. So, that alone got people's attention. At that point, the argument wasn't even only about Woody anymore. People were debating whether there should be boundaries in these public feuds at all. Some viewers believe that once two people start disrespecting each other publicly, almost anything can become part of the exchange. But plenty of others strongly disagreed, especially when relatives who aren't directly involved become part of the insults.
Say, Woody, what's up? What my doubts?
Yeah, I guess I don't know if he said he banned you or not, but that's what they're saying.
Well, we'll find.
But you did try to give him advice in the beginning.
I did.
He's at his peak.
I did. Pull back from the 20 versus 1, homie, because we had a big deal on the table. What he was trying to do, these same people rhyme with the South got the BET money. They went and got the BET money. So nigga, they tried to do me and Aaron the plumber with a contract. Man, y'all just homie because they get money because people love these two personas.
That's why this particular part of the feud hit differently. Woody losing a child is a real and painful family matter, not just another piece of internet gossip to casually turn into entertainment. Whatever problems Charleston and Woody have with each other, the backlash showed that a significant part of the audience didn't want that loss being used as ammunition. And Charleston answering with "so" and "says who" only made that criticism louder. Instead of backing away from the controversy, his responses made it appear that he rejected the boundary people were trying to put around the feud. And that raises the bigger question behind all of this. How did two people who were once on much better terms even reach a point where the disagreement became this personal? Because the answer goes further back than Charleston's latest post. And the interviews, relationships, and shifting alliances around Lil Woody played a major role in how everything eventually fell apart. With Charleston White back in the spotlight, people were already predicting that the interviews were about to start rolling in. Some commenters joked that his interview price probably went up overnight, while others said his life had become so unpredictable that somebody could practically turn the whole thing into a series. There were also questions online about how Charleston was released so quickly in Texas, but without the full court record explaining exactly what happened. There's no reason to turn that into some bigger conspiracy. Getting released doesn't automatically mean something unusual happened, and speculation about his legal situation only distracts from what we actually know about the feud. Because the bigger story here is how Charleston and Lil Woody reached this point in the first place.
20,000, 25. This for me and him standing together. I know he everybody getting 15 too. So me and him done racked up down to $100,000 just standing next to each other in less than 2 months. These people got a bigger bag with a network behind them, with a production team. Why you keep running over here to all these 20 verses? Come on, my nigga, go kill it. But he think I'm hate. I'm still doing this because I pull back from the 20 versus 1. You don't want to make yourself so accessible to one demographic of people. You box yourself in. That's why I only do certain interviews now. You don't see me on Autodial. You don't see me on all these different platforms doing interviews. You lower your value when you do that. I'm exclusive for Say Cheese TV, Aiden Ross. I'm exclusive for them 2 platforms. Everybody else is, maybe.
These two weren't always publicly trading personal shots. Their relationship appeared much friendlier before things started falling apart.
You not gonna answer? You gonna do me the same way you did on the stand? I think so. No, he definitely ain't. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question.
And interviews involving Woody seem to have become one of the major pressure points surrounding that change. That's where Dooberry comes back into the story. After Dooberry began linking with Woody and appearing around content involving him, Charleston publicly started having issues with the situation. The original version of this story makes it sound simple. Woody wouldn't do what Charleston wanted. Everybody around Charleston suddenly started working with Woody, and Charleston became angry. But the public story isn't quite that clean. Woody has given his own version of events. He previously suggested that Charleston became upset when somebody connected to Charleston began interviewing him. If that's how Woody saw the situation, then from his perspective, this may have been less about betrayal and more about people simply choosing who they wanted to work with. Charleston's perspective appears different. Based on the way he has publicly discussed relationships and collaborations, loyalty, and whether people are moving in the same direction seem to matter heavily to him. So when people from his orbit started building connections with Woody, Charleston may have viewed those moves differently than Woody did. And that's an important distinction. We can't say as a confirmed fact that Charleston attacked Woody simply because everybody switched sides. That's an interpretation, and the evidence doesn't establish some mass decision where everybody abandoned Charleston for Woody. What we can say is that the relationships around them changed. Interviews became part of the tension, and the disagreement eventually became public. Woody wasn't completely silent during that process either. He discussed Charleston in interviews and gave his perspective on why their relationship had gone sideways. That kept the issue alive even when Charleston wasn't directly responding every single time. So when people now say Woody is trying to restart the feud, that's still an interpretation rather than something we can know for certain. Woody may see himself as responding to questions or defending his side, while Charleston may interpret those same comments as Woody continuing to poke at him. And once both men start viewing each other's public comments through that lens, almost anything can restart the argument. That's why Charleston's latest post didn't happen in a vacuum. Underneath all the trolling is a longer disagreement involving interviews, loyalty, changing relationships, and two completely different interpretations of who actually switched up on who. And Charleston White's own explanation adds another layer to why things between him and Lil Woody may have fallen apart. In a previous interview, Charleston talked about the type of people he prefers to build relationships with, and his comments gave some insight into how he looks at connections in the entertainment and media space. Charleston's basic argument was that he wants to attach himself to people who are moving upward, so everybody involved can grow together. From his perspective, relationships aren't only about being cool with somebody personally. He appears to put a lot of value on whether both people are building momentum and whether that connection makes sense for everyone involved. That doesn't automatically explain every detail of what happened with Woody, though. Charleston has his version. Woody has spoken from his own perspective, and there were other people like Dooberry caught in the middle of these changing relationships. That's why reducing the entire fallout to one person simply betraying another doesn't really tell the full story. What started as a relationship between two personalities eventually became tangled up with interviews, collaborations, loyalty questions, and public responses. Then, once the personal shots started flying, the original disagreement almost became secondary to the controversy surrounding what they were willing to say about each other. And now Charleston is back. Woody has already spoken publicly about him, and neither man's history suggests that a disagreement like this automatically disappears overnight. The bigger question is what happens from here. Does Charleston keep responding every time Woody's name gets connected to him? Does Woody continue discussing Charleston when he's asked about their history? Or does one of them eventually decide that keeping this situation alive isn't worth all the attention that comes with it? Because there's also a major difference between responding to criticism and allowing an internet feud to become increasingly personal. The reaction to Charleston's comments involving Woody's family showed that plenty of viewers have a line they don't want these public arguments crossing. Charleston's "so" and "says who" responses, however, suggest he doesn't necessarily recognize that same boundary. But that's exactly where you come in. After hearing both sides of the story, what do you think actually caused Charleston White and Lil Woody's relationship to fall apart? Was this mainly about loyalty and people working with different interviewers? Or do you think the problems between them run much deeper than what has been said publicly? And what about Charleston's latest response? Do you think he went too far by making the situation so personal? Or do you think both sides should simply stop giving the feud more attention? Drop your thoughts down in the comments and let everybody know where you stand. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit the like button, share this video with someone who follows celebrity and street culture drama, and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Turn on your notifications too so you don't miss what's coming next. And before you leave, check out the next video popping up on your screen right now for even more celebrity drama. There's another wild situation waiting for you over there. So click that video and keep watching. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.